This is the Gerry Callahan Show.
Donald Trump has been right about a lot of things over the last few years, and I think nothing he has said has been quite as on the nose as when he described the media as the enemy of the people. The media went nuts when he said that years ago, but man, have they ever proven him right? There was a big controversy in Massachusetts yesterday because ICE agents came in May, had their biggest operation ever, arrested almost 1,500 illegal aliens, including murderers, many child rapists, child predators, just the worst of the worst, people who were roaming free under the Biden administration, people who were let into the country over the last 4 years. So the last president let in 15, 20 million people, many of them gang members, many of them drug dealers, rapists, murderers. You know the deal. Hoping the Biden administration was hoping they would get them here, settle them here, make them citizens, turn them into Democrats. So for political advantage, they put every American at risk. It was the most traitorous, treasonous thing a president has ever done. And now Donald Trump, the Trump administration, is charged with cleaning up the mess, protecting American citizens, whether they like it or not. And in Massachusetts, like many blue states, they don't like it. They don't like the fact that ICE is rounding up killers, murderers, child rapists, taking them out of the communities and kicking them the hell out of the country. So yesterday, or the last couple of days, there's been this uproar because one 18-year-old man, an illegal alien, was detained. He happens to be a high school junior who plays on the volleyball team and is a drummer for his church choir. Yes, sounds like an angel, doesn't he? Well, he was here illegally. He was not supposed to be in Milford High School. He was not supposed to be getting an education on the taxpayer's dime. So he was grabbed. Why was he grabbed? Because he was driving his father's car. His father was a public safety threat. His father had a habit of driving through town at 100 miles an hour. So they were looking for dad. They got his son, 18-year-old Mr. Gomez. Let me get his name here. I want to get it right. His name was Marcelo Gomez, 18-year-old junior at Milford High. So the entire student body at Milford High walked out in protest. They held a big rally in support of Marcelo. Every single politician in Massachusetts, and I mean all of them, Ayanna Pressley held a press conference. Ed Markey issued a video, all calling this outrageous that an 18-year-old student was grabbed. It was big news. It is big news in the Boston Globe and all the local TV stations. There was another illegal alien who was also arraigned, detained, arrested, and went to court yesterday. You probably didn't hear this one. Lorenzo Lopez Alcario, 30 years old. This is from the Boston Herald. An illegal immigrant in the Bay State is accused of raping a child, according to police, who say the victim was tied, bound, and gagged. Lopez Alcario is 30 years old. He was arrested by Marlborough police on 5 charges: rape of a child with force, sexual assault on a child, assault and battery, resisting arrest, and assault. The child is under 16. We know from reporting from a number of people, she was 8 years old. Her father bound, gagged, blindfolded her, and raped her, according to police, and videotaped it. The mother of the child gave a statement through an interpreter saying that Daddy did this. Daddy did this to an 8-year-old. This is a man let into the country by Joe Biden who raped his 8-year-old daughter, according to police. You don't see a word about this. The Boston Globe's got 900 stories on their homepage. No mention of Lorenzo Lopez Alcario and what he did to his daughter. Now, if that were an American citizen, I'm guessing it'd be a pretty big deal. But it is covered up. It is not covered. It is covered up by the media. I haven't seen this story anywhere other than the Boston Herald today. I can't even read the details of this story. It goes into great detail of what this man did to his daughter, this illegal alien allowed into the country by Joe Biden. And there's not a word. I didn't hear from Ed Markey or Liz Warren or Ayanna Pressley. I didn't see it on CNN or MSNBC. I didn't even see it on Fox News today. It's nowhere. This story, which is gruesome, which is sickening. This is what an illegal alien did to his own daughter in the same state where an 18-year-old high school junior got detained because his father was a public safety threat. You know what? You know why this kid, Marcelo Gomez, was detained? Because Massachusetts doesn't cooperate with federal authorities. If they did, the father would have been picked up because he's a public safety threat, he's a criminal, and the kid would be in school today. But because Massachusetts forced ICE to go into the streets and find these illegal aliens and endanger everybody, the kid get picked up. The kid, he's an 18-year-old man, got picked up, detained. He is now going to be deported, as he should be deported. And that means every politician, every student at Milford High, all the media will be outraged because one 18-year-old got arrested. There were a lot of 18-year-olds arrested in this country yesterday, I'm going to guess, or in the last few days. Do our politicians get outraged when 18-year-olds get arrested every day? When American 18-year-olds get arrested? Of course not. They only care because he's an illegal alien here using our services in this country, going to school, driving around, playing drums, playing volleyball, and he's not supposed to be here. Why is that so hard to understand? I don't get it. I don't understand. I realize why people like this sleazebag Ed Markey use this to attack Trump. But why do citizens, taxpayers, why do decent people want these people here? We have a real problem in this country. We have an administration who's trying to repair the damage that the last administration did. We have a federal government that's trying to find 15 to 20 million illegal aliens. And we have a resistance. We have politicians and media people and citizens who are trying to stop them. It's absolute madness in this country right now. And when you think about it, the ICE right now, ICE is just getting started. The 1,500 people they grabbed, the criminals they grabbed in Massachusetts over the month of May, that sounds pretty good, right? 1,500 people, almost 800 with criminal convictions, almost 300 who have deportation orders already, who are supposed to be gone. And because of local government, because of local politicians like this sleaze, they're here living on us. It has to end. It's going to end. That 1,500, say there's 15 million here. That's what they just did in Massachusetts. They have to do it 1,000 times, 1,000 times to fulfill Trump's campaign promise, to fulfill the will of the voters. They have to do what they did here in May 1,000 times. They have such a huge hill to climb. They have so much work to do, and it becomes harder because places like Massachusetts and California and New York and Illinois are fighting them, trying to stop them from removing child rapists, from removing people like the man who raped his 8-year-old daughter. Their goal is to get them all out. And it's a tough job, and it gets tougher every day because people like Ed Markey and Liz Warren and Ayanna Pressley are trying to stop them because local governments will not cooperate. So they endanger everybody, and they make the job that much tougher. It's mind-boggling where we are at this point. We have illegal aliens who are up to no good. We have people like Mohammed Solomon in Boulder, Colorado, and he's here with the intent of killing Jews. That's his job. That was his goal, to kill Jews. He failed, as far as we know. None of them have died yet, but he was brought here by Biden. He was allowed to stay here by Biden. And then we have Joe Biden issuing a statement saying how concerned he is and how outraged he is by the attack in Boulder. The attack in Boulder that he enabled, it wouldn't have happened if he didn't open the border. It wouldn't have happened if he didn't allow Mohammed Solomon to come into this country on a tourist visa, overstay the visa, and then they issued him a work permit so he could drive an Uber and plot his evil deed, which he had been plotting for over a year. We'll get to Solomon and the latest out of Boulder, but let's do Massachusetts. Let's do Ed Markey, Liz Warren, the rest of these. Here's Ed Markey, this absolute dimwit, the dumbest man in the U.S. Senate. Again, everyone in Massachusetts should hang their heads in shame every time this moron speaks. He's a senator, one of 100. He's in the most exclusive club in the world, and he's not fit to drive an ice cream truck, which, by the way, is his last job in the private sector. He drove an ice cream truck. Now he's in the Senate, and he's outraged because one illegal alien, one of 15 to 20 million, was detained in Milford. His goal, to make sure we free Marcello. That's the goal of a U.S. senator, to get one illegal alien criminal out of detention. Listen to this idiot.
You've probably seen the news of Marcelo Gomes, a star high school student from Milford who was on his way to volleyball practice when he was taken and detained by ICE. Marcelo should have been playing the drums at Milford High's graduation on Sunday, not trapped in a detention center. This isn't about public safety. This is about cruelty and power and fear engendered by the Trump administration. To the Milford community, I am with you as we tell the Trump administration to keep its hands off your kids. And I am with you in calling on ICE to free Marcelo.
So he's protecting children. He's talking about the cruelty of the arrest of one illegal alien. No mention of Lorenzo Lopez Alcario, 30-year-old illegal immigrant, arrested and arraigned for raping his 8-year-old daughter. Not a mention, not a word in the Globe, not a word on the local TV stations about that illegal alien. It's all about this other illegal alien, the 18-year-old high school junior who's on his way to volleyball practice. This is just disgusting. How would you like to be an ICE agent? ICE agents right now are doing God's work. Say what you want. I mean, you can hate Trump all you want. They're arresting murderers. They are saving these people who live among these awful, evil people who live among child predators and fentanyl dealers. They're removing them from your community. You know what the people in these neighborhoods should be doing? They should be hanging out their windows, cheering for them, thanking them, saying, God bless you. They should be buying them dinner. Instead, they're treating them like some enemy force in their neighborhoods. It's really disgusting. And politicians are doing it too. They're demonizing these men who are just doing their jobs, who are literally in your neighborhood to get that murderer who lives down the street, to get that child predator who lives next door, to get the one in East Boston, the child rapist who was living next to a playground. They went and got him. And every elected Democrat, everyone in the media are just aghast, appalled that these guys would come in there and do their jobs and protect you, whether you like it or not. Here's a scene from these ICE guys going into a neighborhood, trying to get real, serious, dangerous people, public safety threats, guys just trying to do their jobs, who want to make these neighborhoods safe, who want to make this country safe, who want to get the next child rapist, the next Islamic terrorist off the street. And this is how they're treated. This is disgusting. Played it.
Like, come on, man. That's the damn shame what y'all doing. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. But it's a damn shame. Yo, my man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry Trump's an asshole. I'm sorry they voted for this fucking asshole. You know what? When people start fighting back, then what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna shoot every American? When we start fighting back, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna shoot Americans then? Because that's what we gonna start doing. We're gonna start fighting back. That's what we gonna start doing, fighting back. Goddamn shame. All y'all should put a bullet in y'all heads. Doing Trump's work. Every single one of y'all put a bullet in your head. Yeah, I said it. What? I said it. What? I'm a United States citizen. I said it. All y'all put a bullet in your head. Y'all fucking losers.
Why is he not arrested right there on the spot? Why didn't they not take him down, handcuff him, take him in? He just threatened the life of federal agents because they were arresting really bad people and removing them. People Joe Biden let into our country. People should be celebrating these men. They should be thrilled to see an ICE vehicle pull up in their neighborhood. They're not here for American citizens, not even a-holes like that guy. It's disgusting. And the ICE agents are there, and there's going to be one who gets hurt. And the reason he'll get hurt is because local officials, elected Democrats, are making them, demonizing them, and making their job more difficult. They're not respecting the hold orders, the detainment. They're forcing them to go into the neighborhoods rather than get them in the jails, as Tom Homan says over and over again. Yesterday, head of ICE, Todd Lyons, Boston guy, gave a press conference, and he was all done with his speech, with his statement, and took questions. And then one of the people in the media, one of the enemy of the people, wanted to know, why do these ICE agents have to wear masks? Why did they have to hide their identities? I mean, this media person, whoever it is, has no problem with protesters wearing masks. Hell, they have no problem with weirdos who still think COVID's a thing wearing masks. But ICE agents whose lives are threatened every day cover their faces, hide their identities, and the media wants to know, why are they hiding their faces? Lyons is all done. He's over the side of the stage. He jumps back on the mic to set the record straight. This was great. Go ahead.
Why do they wear masks?
I'm going to answer the mask question. So, no, not the mask, the mask. So a lot of agencies were invited to come out 2 weeks ago in Los Angeles where we ran an operation where ICE officers were doxxed. So let's just say that again. People are out there taking photos of the names, their faces, and posting them online with death threats to their family and themselves. So I'm sorry if people are offended by them wearing masks, but I'm not going to let my officers and agents go out there and put their lives on the line and their family on the line because people don't like what immigration enforcement is. They're wearing those masks because we ran an operation with the Secret Service where we arrested someone that was going online, taking their photos, posting their families, their kids' Instagram, their kids' Facebooks, and targeting them. So let me ask, is that the issue here, that we're just upset about the masks? Or is anyone upset with the fact that ICE officers' families were labeled terrorist?
That is unbelievable. Why are they wearing masks? Gee, I don't know, because they want to kill them? Because guys like that we just saw on the street say he's going to put a bullet in their head? Put a bullet in their head. They're cops, and they're arresting really dangerous people who are allowed in this country, welcomed in this country by Joe Biden. They're trying to get the next, they're trying to save the next Laken Riley, Jocelyn Nungaray. They're trying to save that 8-year-old kid getting raped by her father. They're trying to save the old Jewish people in Boulder from getting set on fire by an illegal alien. And we will get to the latest on that. But I want to play this clip from Tom Homan, who is great. And you know this agency is being led by a good man, a strong man. He's just so real, and you know that he's doing his best, and you know he's disgusted by this treatment of his officers. But he's always great in interviews. But he has an interesting take here, an interesting observation. We look at Mohammed Solomon in Boulder, and for some reason we think he's an outlier. You know, he's a maniac, he's a lunatic, he's an anti-Semite who literally set a bunch of elderly Jews on fire. What makes anyone think that that's an aberration? We have millions of illegal aliens in this country. We have hundreds of people on the terror watch list. We know there are people right now plotting and planning the next attack on whatever, on Jews, on innocent Americans. And for some reason, we're more concerned with one guy, one kid, one, volleyball player being detained, or one MS-13 gang member being sent to El Salvador. That's what upsets Democrats. Not the fact that somebody out there, more than one person, is right now planning and plotting the next terror attack. That's why they're here. That's why they avoided detection. That's why they didn't apply for asylum and take a hotel room in New York City, because they want to remain in the shadows. Why? Because they're up to no good. Because we right now, as a country, have to find millions of people who want to hurt us, millions of people who hate this country, who were brought into this country by Joe Biden and want to do us harm. Here's Homan talking about what keeps him up at night. This is a guy who, as he explains all the time, has held in his hands illegal alien children who died crossing the Rio Grande, or died in the back of a tractor trailer truck, baked to death, trying to come into this country under Joe Biden. He's seen the worst of the worst. This is what keeps him up at night, and it should keep every American up at night. Listen to this.
Responsibility then. This is attack on ICE. This is attack on the Trump administration. We're trying to fix the damage done by Biden. I mean, why did 2 million illegal aliens pay more to get away? They could have paid half of what they paid, cross the border, turn yourselves into a border patrol agent, get released that same day, get a free airline ticket to the city of their choice, get a free hotel room, get 3 meals a day, plus free medical care and work authorization. 2 million people paid more to get away. They didn't want to be vetted. They didn't want to be fingerprinted. Why? This scares the hell out of me. I've been doing this for 40 years. It should have scared the hell out of every American what the Biden administration did. This 2 million known gotaways scares the hell out of me. So I'm convinced something's coming unless we can find them.
Something's coming unless we can find them. And they're trying to find them, and Democrats are trying to stop them. They're trying to find the next Mohammed Solomon, the next Muslim fanatic that wants to kill Jews. They're trying to find terrorists. And Democrats and their foot soldiers are trying to stop them. And the media is focused on one high school kid who's detained, not on the millions who have yet to be detained, who want to kill us, who want to kill Jews, who want to commit acts of terrorism. They're out there right now, not 5 or 10 or 19 like it took on September 11th. No, millions of people who want to kill Americans are still out there, and we're doing our best. ICE is doing their best. Tom Homan's doing his best. And we have media people and Democrats and senators, Congress people trying to stop them. It is just an upside down world right now, a backwards world right now, where there are people who know there's another Mohammed Solomon plotting and planning right now, and they don't want us to go get them. They don't want illegal alien felons, murderers, rapists detained, arrested, deported. It's just absolute madness. Judges, don't forget district court judges, trying to stop this operation, which is designed for one thing only, to protect Americans. It really is disgusting. When you think about where we were on September 11th, September 12th, 2001, and we said, everything's changed. Everything's different now. We're more vigilant. What happened then? What happened? We now have a guy, a Uber driver in Boulder, setting a Holocaust survivor on fire. And on that day, you had Democrats screaming about the Gestapo, the brown shirts in ICE. I don't know. When I look at that video of the guy saying he's going to put a bolt in their head, I'm pretty sure that's not how they treated the Gestapo. If they were indeed the Gestapo, they would have shot the guy or at least arrested him. But no, we're going to sit there and talk about how ICE is just some kind of paramilitary force detaining innocent Americans. It's sickening what is happening. And it is sickening what happened in Boulder, Colorado, which is, again, it's not the first time. Hell, 2 weeks ago, 2 innocent Jewish people were murdered in cold blood, shot in the back in D.C., our nation's capital. And it happens 10 days later, and we go, hey, it happens. It doesn't have to happen. We have this culture right now. We have this insidious, poisonous wave of anti-Semitism. And I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. Not with the media and the Democrats fanning the flames of anti-Semitism, because that's what they're doing. We're going to get the latest out of Boulder, Colorado. The good news is, as of now, nobody has died from their injuries, but apparently some of them are pretty bad off. We'll tell you how he got into the country and why he was still in this country and why we should be all outraged, why we should not drop this issue. We had an administration that was treasonous, that did what it could to destroy this country for 4 years. We can't let that happen again. We'll get to Boulder, and oh man, we got so much more to get to. Some of the most outrageous reactions to this. It's just, we have an NBC reporter, alleged reporter, who found a way to blame Elon Musk for what happened in Boulder. We'll get to that and more, but first.
Excuse me.
Another volatile day on Wall Street? If the ups and downs of the market have you worried about your retirement, you're not alone. At SecureMyRetirement.com, we help you take control with strategies designed to protect what you've built. We create guaranteed income streams, protect your principal, and help you grow your savings without risking it all to market swings. If the market is up, your investments grow. If the market is down, you lose nothing. No more sleepless nights watching your 401k take a hit. It's time for steady, smart, and secure planning, built for today's uncertain economy. Visit SecureMyRetirement.com and find out how to retire with confidence, no matter what the market does. SecureMyRetirement.com. Safe, smart, secure. SecureMyRetirement.com. SecureMyRetirement.com. Safe, smart, secure.
Here's the latest from the Denver Post this morning on Mohammed Salman, a 45-year-old Egyptian illegal alien. He was living in Colorado illegally on an expired tourist visa at the time of the attack. After he overstayed his tourist visa, the Biden administration gave him a work permit to allow him to stay. He's a 45-year-old father of 5. He waited. He knew this group, this group of elderly Jews who came together every Sunday to do a walk in support of the hostages, demanded the release of the hostages. They were peaceful people, just wanted the hostages freed. And that upset Mohammed Salman. He didn't like that. He wanted to kill Jews. He planned it for over a year, and he waited till his daughter graduated from high school. She's an illegal alien. She applied to 2 colleges in Colorado. She hasn't, as far as we know, decided, but she was going to go to college in Colorado. Hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully she will be deported with the rest of the family because they're here illegally. They're not supposed to be here. Joe Biden let them in. Solomon didn't originally plan to use Molotov cocktails in the attack, but had to switch to the explosive devices after he was unable to purchase a gun because he's an illegal alien. What do you know? Why didn't he just buy a gun illegally, like all those TDA gang members in Aurora, Colorado? They had AR-15s. I don't think they were purchased legally. Solomon entered the U.S. in August of 2022 on a visa that expired in February 2023. Assistant Secretary of Homeland Security Tricia McLaughlin said Monday in a statement that Solomon filed for asylum in December 2022, but she didn't specify the motion's status. The 45-year-old didn't expect to survive the attack, according to the arrest affidavit. He sprayed himself with gasoline and expected to burn alongside his victims. In order to get as close as possible, Solomon dressed like a gardener. He wore an orange vest, brought flowers from Home Depot, and purchased a backpack weed sprayer that he filled with gasoline. So this genius got a weed sprayer, filled it with gasoline, and made Molotov cocktails with the intent of killing as many Jewish people as possible. He failed. He burned his vest, apparently. That's why he was top shirtless in all the photos from the scene. But he owned a modest townhome in a cul-de-sac. No one answered the door on Monday at his home. This guy was an Uber driver. So he was driving Jewish people around Boulder as a job and was allowed to stay by the Biden administration. Apparently he'd been radicalized for a long time because he'd been plotting and planning this for a long time. I need someone to explain this to me. Why do we want people like this here? Why do we let people like this here? Why wouldn't we vet someone like this, knowing what he's capable of? It's sickening. Oh, by the way, the New York Times ran this story on page A15, the biggest story in the country, and they buried it. Why? Because it doesn't help them. Their job is to help Democrats hurt Trump, and that didn't help them. He had 16 more Molotov cocktails, which he didn't use. And interestingly, he had paperwork from USAID in his car. We're going to find out that we were paying this guy through, USAID, which is there to save lives. That's what's going to come out of this. This is just the latest. It's not the last anti-Semitic attack. There's a real sickness in this country, and it's getting worse. And again, the media, Democrats are fanning the flames. They are encouraging this. People like Elon Omar and Rashida Tlaib and the rest of the radicals in Washington, they issue statements saying, oh, we condemn that. They don't really. You think Elon Omar's really upset about this? I don't. In 2024, there were 9,354 anti-Semitic attacks in this country. 9,000. That's up 344% in 1 year. In 10 years, it's up 900%. There is a real problem in this country, and you hardly hear any Democrats speak out against it. They somehow they don't find this upsetting, that people are attacking innocent American Jewish people. Hell, people who are out there protesting, walking for peace, walking to free hostages, and they're under attack. I don't know why this isn't an outrage for every American. What we're living through, what we're seeing right now is disgusting. And it's not going to get any better. We've seen it again since New Year's Eve in New Orleans. We saw it in D.C. 2 weeks ago, and we saw it in Boulder over the weekend. And we have millions of other people in the country plotting and planning the next attack on innocent Jews because these people are upset about a war that American Jewish people have nothing to do with. It's so outrageous. It's amazing everybody's not kicking and screaming about this. Let's get to this Ken Delanian tweet. Here's your reaction from the mainstream media to an attack by a lunatic who bought a weed sprayer and filled it with gas. This is NBC News's Justice and Intelligence correspondent, prominent reporter for NBC News. He tweets this out yesterday. Worth noting that flamethrowers are legal and commercially available for sale. Elon Musk's company even sold some several years ago. That's the end of the tweet. So Elon Musk's company sold flamethrowers several years ago. And this is the reaction from an NBC reporter to a terrorist attack in Boulder, a guy who made Molotov cocktails, many of them, and took a weed sprayer, filled it with gas. And somehow NBC News is, I think this was his initial reaction to this attack, is Elon Musk company sold flamethrowers. Well, I got news for you, Ken, you friggin' moron. It wasn't a flamethrower. They called it a makeshift flamethrower. That means it's not a real flamethrower. That means he didn't buy it from anyone, let alone Elon Musk. He took it, he bought it from Home Depot and filled it with gas. And somehow this clown, this sleazeball, Ken Delanian, found a way to blame Musk. It's remarkable how deranged the mainstream media is at this point, how off the friggin' rails they have gone, how consumed they are with Trump hatred and Musk hatred. Even with Musk stepping down, it's not going to stop them. Get me this cut. David Brooks, you know who he is? He's a New York Times columnist. They consider him a conservative. He hates Trump. He hates conservatives, but whatever. I think this was on PBS. Today, maybe today, the House takes a vote. PBS, your public broadcasting system, a station and network that you pay for, we pay for, at least until they take a vote. We're hoping the House votes to defund PBS, something that should have happened 40 years ago. Please, just get this done. Republicans, just stop giving our money to this bile. This is, again, a well-respected member of the mainstream media, New York Times, PBS, and he wants you to, he compares Musk to like Pol Pot and Stalin, because Musk uncovered the waste, the fraud, the abuse in the federal government and defunded the scam, at least we hope, defunded the scam that is USAID. Check out this insanity that was on public broadcasting yesterday.
And so there's folks at Boston University who count how many people have died because of what Doge did at USAID. And USAID was a very ill-managed organization. That's true. But according to the Boston University folks, so far 55,000 adults have died of AIDS in the 4 months since Trump was elected. 6,000 children are dead because of what Doge did. That's just PEPFAR, the HIV. You add them all up, that's 300,000 dead, and we're 4 months in. Now you accumulate that over 4 years, the number of dead grows very high. There are mass murderers in the world, Pol Pot, Mao Zedong, Stalin. We don't have anybody on the list for America. And I don't think it's the same as committing the kind of genocide they did. But by taking away that agency and being at least semi-responsible for the deaths of probably by the end of this hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people, that's Elon Musk's legacy. And the people who work at Tesla and SpaceX might want to think about that.
Oh my God. Is that the most vile thing you've ever heard? I know. That is unbelievable. He said that. Do you hear yourself, David Brooks? That Musk, because we're cutting waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government, and we've chronicled it, most of it is theft. They're stealing the money. Musk himself said more than 80% of the money never leaves Washington. This absolute clown says he's killed hundreds of thousands of people already from AIDS. 55,000 people died of AIDS in the last 4 months, and it's on Musk. First of all, even if it were true, why is somebody who dies of AIDS in Africa, why is that the fault of the U.S. taxpayer? We have an obligation. Is that somewhere in the Constitution that we have to send millions of dollars to Africa, hoping some of it trickles down to people with AIDS in Africa or kids, starving kids in Africa? That's our job. What about the rest of the world? That has somehow become America's responsibility, to the point where if anyone dies, it's on Musk, it's on Trump. And he doesn't want to compare him to Pol Pot and Mao Zedong and Stalin. He compares Musk to Stalin because Musk is uncovering abuse and waste and fraud and trying to stop the scam that was USAID. These people have no shame. They have no integrity. That right there is the most outrageous thing I think I've ever heard. And he just says it matter-of-factly. Yeah, You know, and he threatens SpaceX and Tesla. Like, don't you know you're working for a mass murderer? How does that even air? And how could anyone justify giving tax money? Your tax money, your chunk of your paycheck goes to pay for him to go on PBS and say Musk is like Stalin, that Musk is killing starving children in Africa. We heard the same thing from that idiot Bono saying hundreds of thousands have died. Well, why is it on America if people are dying in Africa? Why? Why is it our obligation to send our tax money there in hopes that, I don't know, we can prevent AIDS? Don't we know how to prevent AIDS, by the way, at this point? I mean, we do it in this country. Why don't they do it in that country? Because we didn't send them enough money?
Because USAID's gone, that's why.
It's just, all right, no more $40 billion for USAID. Oh, kids are dying. People are dying of AIDS. Well, you know, I think we know how to prevent AIDS at this point. At some point, don't the people of Africa or anywhere else in the world have to do it on their own? It's always up to the American taxpayer. That is so outrageous. All right, we got to get to some more here before we move on. Let's do Eric Swalwell. I got to do this. I got to ask, what is the point of this Ironhead? We didn't get to this yesterday, but Eric Swalwell, who is just an embarrassment, it's hard to believe he's an elected representative in this country, most famous for banging a Chinese spy and farting on the air. Those are his two biggest accomplishments in Congress. But he posted a video, which I don't even understand, yesterday. It is the cringiest thing I think I've ever seen. If someone else caught him on hidden camera, it would be bad. He posted this himself on his own TikTok. I'll ask you, Ironhead, to explain it after we watch. Here it is. Someone's walking into Swalwell's office.
Trying to help you?
What the fuck is up with Trump always chickening out on tariffs?
This is so bad.
He eats a taco.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
What does that even mean? Trump's chickening out on tariffs. Let me get this straight. They're criticizing Trump for lowering tariffs, for negotiating with other countries, from lowering the 145% tariff on China, but they were against it. Shouldn't they be happy if Trump chickens out on tariffs? He was asked about Trump the other day about chickening out, and he got pissed. And he's like, I'm negotiating. It's a negotiation. And things are going pretty well. And you're complaining that he didn't keep the 145% tariff on China? And you're eating a taco because the acronym is Trump always chickens out? So you don't want him to chicken out? You want the high tariffs? Which is it? Eric, you embarrassment. Just a complete embarrassment he is. Honest to God. I can't even look at him. People go to the polls and vote for that guy. I know I can't talk because I'm represented by just the most embarrassing people in the world, and Liz Warren and Ayanna Pressley and Ed Markey. But God, that guy is just. Anyway, let's get to the story of the fighter. Got to get his name straight again. Imam Khalif. This was great. As we knew when we were watching the Olympics, Imam Khalif is a man, and he wasn't a man running track, beating the girls on the volleyball court or beating the girls in the pool. He was literally beating the shit out of girls. I believe it was 5 women he had to beat up to win the women's gold. We watched it in real time, and it was disgusting. Everyone knew he was a man. Somehow the Olympic Committee didn't have the guts to call him out, and they gave him the gold. The gold medal for women's boxing went to a man, and everyone knew he was a man. And we watched as he beat women. One woman gave up, said she'd never been hit so hard. One woman was bloodied. He had pounded her face into hamburger meat. And many in the media applauded. They were happy to watch a man beat the shit out of a woman, a number of women, and stand atop the medal stand with the gold medal. Well, as we told you yesterday, the story leaked. Someone leaked the story that he is indeed a man, that he has now been banned from world boxing, of course. Do you hear any of the people who accused us of transphobia, who were accused of slandering and libeling Iman Khalif, the man from Algeria who won the women's gold? I don't think I've heard anybody say, well, my bad, sorry, you were right. Of course we were right. This wasn't even a debate, by the way. It wasn't even a question. We saw him. You needed two eyes to know he was a man, and you needed a soul to agree it was disgusting and disturbing that the world was watching a man beat up a woman and take the gold and not be outraged. Here's one, well, I think both of these people, Lauren Coates on CNN with Jamel Hill, of course, talking about Iman Khalif as he was in the process of beating up a bunch of women and taking their gold medal. Maybe you recall this moment, but here they are going at attacking us who were outraged watching this man beat up women. Go ahead.
Oh, it's frozen. 1 second.
Okay. Well, it's about what you'd expect from Jamel Hill. Jamel Hill, who called us all transphobes and defended this man who she saw. All you had to do was see him. We showed you the video, the photos yesterday, just jacked. Just a man who should be fighting men. But men hit back. It's hard to win the men's gold, even if you're a man. It's not so hard to win the women's gold, which he did, which somehow he still has. And he should be arrested. Forget just taking the gold. Man should be arrested for assaulting women, for fraud. But somehow he declared he was a woman, said, yeah, I'm a woman. And the media defended him. Do we have it?
Jamel Hill, she's a contributing writer for The Atlantic and the host of Jamel Hill is Unbothered podcast. Jamel, so good to see you. I have been seeing this headline and following it for days now, thinking about all that's been taking place and all the speculation. People jumped the gun on this before knowing the full story. Why were they so quick to come out against her?
It's really simple. The reality is that people in this country, certain people, certain groups of people, the conservative right being at the top of the list, are weaponizing trans women and the trans community and using that as part of their ongoing culture wars. And this young lady, unfortunately, was the victim of what is a gross American mentality. It's not adopted by all mentality, but we're talking about that there is certainly a huge issue with transphobia in our country. And if people understood for 2 minutes what the dynamics of this was, it never should have got out of hand in this regard. And I feel so sorry for this young woman who has been subjected to these attacks when all it boiled down to was that the woman that she competed against realized after getting hit, she couldn't compete. And rather than accept that gracefully as a competitor, she chose to weaponize this further by crying and by saying it was unjust. There was nothing unjust about it. I mean, to be frank, you just got your butt beat, and that's the end of what happened.
You just got your butt beat. Yes, a woman got her butt beat by a man who was stronger and bigger, and his punches. She's one of the women said she's never been hit so hard, and we stood and watched. Shame on all of us. Shame on anybody who didn't step in and stop that. And you had people like this lunatic, Jamel Hill, calling it transphobia and saluting this young woman and mocking the girls that this man beat up, bloodied, hurt. He hurt the women in the ring. And she said, you just got your butt beat. Again, we need to keep this debate going because there is no subject, there is no topic on which people like this sound more deranged, sound more insane. You defended a man. You watched a man beat up a woman and you defended it because that man said, I'm a woman. That's it. I'm a woman, so I can do this. So you keep going. Double down, Jamel. Double down, Lauren Coates. I think it's a winning issue. I think you should keep it going at least until the midterms or maybe till 2028 because, man, are you on the wrong side of history. Still waiting for them to take the gold away. I mean, you get the gold. Don't you lose the gold if you're like test positive for steroids? I mean, that guy tested positive for being a man and beating up women, and he still has the gold. I don't get it, but it's trending in the right direction. At least now we know it was a fraud. And I don't know, do they give the gold to the second place person? I assume they do. That's the way it should work. She won the fair and square. She was the best woman in that weight class.
Yeah, what'd you get for your gold medal? I got beat up by a guy and handed a gold medal.
Well, no kidding, but hey, that thing's worth a lot of money. That thing's, opens doors for you. She should be able to brag and boast and say, I am the gold medal winner. But no, it goes to that guy. And God, no, you can always count on the U.S. and the media in America to defend you if you're a guy beating up women. Keep it up, Jamel. By the way, she's a writer. She's a terrible writer, and she has a podcast. And she's just a dour, miserable, hateful person. Of people actually listening to that and reading her in the Atlantic. It's amazing. If you're woke enough, there's always going to be opportunities for you. And that's the story of Jemele Hill. All right. We got to leave it there for today. Just another crazy day in the USA as we wait the next terror attack, as the next terror attack on innocent Jewish people. It's coming. It's coming. This is the deal. This is what Joe Biden, Alejandro Mayorkas, Kamala Harris, and the Democrats, this is the situation they created, and we are just waiting for the next Mohammed Solomon. It's coming, sadly and unfortunately. But we will leave it there for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm Gerry Callahan. This is The Callahan Show, and we will do it again tomorrow.
The evidence is uncontradicted that the president used taxpayer dollars to ask the Ukrainians to help him cheat an election. And the complaint that I've heard